Exposure Lights have been making high-quality, world-class bike lights for over 20 years. From compact lights to powerful beams, every road model is built with cycling-specific patterns. Get 15% off all road lights with code LRCP15. Botalume Joao Almeida doesn't care. He doesn't care about Jonas Vingegaard being on his wheel on the Angliru. He's doing his thing from Cabezon de la Sal to Angliru. They lengthened the stage. Now, this is 200k. Normally the Angliru stage is 125. They do have the familiar Mosqueta and Cordal. Before the Angliru, the hardest climb they use in cycling, 12Ks at like 10%, last 6Ks 13%. Vingegaard had his troops on the front of Van Baarle, pacing with Kelderman, and the breakaway, because of the flat start, the flat long start, the breakaway is mainly comprised of bigger units like, the rouleurs, Hessman, Pedersen's there for the intermediate sprint points, Ivo Oliveira for UAE Team Emirates, but actually not full of climbers. And then, it's at 3:45. We do the Mosqueta, which is pretty hard, 5Ks 8%, descent, short valley, Cordal, which is even harder, has 5Ks 9%, and then the Angliru, the first 6Ks of that's not as hard, and then the last 6Ks is brutal. But with Tom Pidcock in GC podium position, Q365 are confident. Bora were confident as well for Hindley, as they should be. Marc Soler starts to launch at the top of the Mosqueta. And the descents of these two climbs, they're pretty tricky. They go through villages. The one of the Mosqueta is not too bad, technically wise, but when a Malinois puppy escapes being attached to a chair, that can make things a little bit more tricky. Mads Pedersen rolls through the intermediate sprint and says, "Thanks, lads, I'm done." So he takes maximum points, which he must be pretty happy with. Then they do the Cordal. Very hard final couple of kilometers. And Victor Campenaerts is pacing. Visma are pacing about the same time as Bob Jungels and Nikola Vinokurov and Jefferson Cepeda in the breakaway until UAE Team Emirates take over with Domen Novak, the Slovenian tractor. They've got Jay Vine and Grosschartner behind him, but Almeida's actually behind Visma, and he was doing his typical thing, letting the wheel go, yo-yoing whilst they set a hard pace on the last couple of steep kilometers of this climb. But Jay Vine, very, very good once again. Soler and Ayuso drop off his pace, and this descent is more technical. Tiberi, who'd had a mechanical out of the breakaway, he then crashed on that descent. There's a protest at the bottom of the Angliru, but it was already 2 minutes 20. Not nice for the breakaway guys, but they were not winning the stage regardless, with Jay Vine and UAE Team Emirates on a mission. And it's broken up into two parts. There's this part, which is 7 to 9% gradients, more regular, a normal road. Then there's a plateau for about a kilometer or shorter, where they have Ivo Oliveira do a very, very good pace. And that drops Bernal. So already the group is very, very thin with 10Ks to go on the Angliru. We've got Le Cerf right at the back. Bernal, he's dropping. He'd lose 4 minutes. Tullett is dropping for Visma. And then Oliveira's done, offers some bidons that he has left for the guys. And they've still got Vine again. Then Grosschartner they're going to use for the lead out when the steep part of the climb starts. And it's like 12 riders. Abel Balderstone, very, very good once again. But all of the GC top 10's pretty much there. Bob Jungels and Vinokurov try to cooperate the best they can, but with a 1 minute gap with 7.5Ks to go, it's just never going to be enough against the GC guys, especially when Grosschartner takes over and you actually see the yo-yoing of Almeida behind him. But Pellizzari, I thought his white jersey was gone. He drops at 6.5Ks to go before Jorgensen, and Jorgensen loses 4 minutes and finishes alongside Bernal. But Riccitello, who's fighting Pellizzari for the white jersey, he must have been very, very happy in this position because he's following the base of Grosschartner. Pellizzari's already dropped. The problem is Pellizzari was pacing himself, and you see, once again, Almeida just riding his own tempo, even, letting the wheel of Grosschartner go back and forth. Jungels, he was the best out of the breakaway, but just too steep for him, and the GC guys too ambitious. And then with 6Ks to go, Almeida takes over and just starts a time trial for 25 minutes from the bottom of the steep section of the Angliru. He looks back, sees Vingegaard is there. Koos follows as well. So we've got Vingegaard, Koos, and Jai Hindley following Almeida. And Hindley, he's just got to follow, and these guys, or Almeida, can drag him to the podium position because Pidcock is dropped already at this point. It wasn't looking good for Pidcock, who doesn't have a good track record on 200-kilometer long, 4,000-meter elevation stages. But then Almeida keeps going. He drops Koos and Hindley. They would go to about a minute behind Almeida and Vingegaard, and we're thinking, well, what happens when Almeida stops? Is he going to stop? Is he just going to do one pace? And it's pretty smart the way Almeida and UAE did this climb, because he was going to do this regardless, in terms of he's going to ride a TT. He's not going to react to anyone surging around him, even if Visma did attack or used Koos or whatever. So why not? They're just going to set him up to do his TT. But Vingegaard, he's getting a free ride. And we see Pellizzari in this hairpin where they have the camera set up. He's come back to goal, and Riccitello and Pidcock is like 5 seconds behind them, maybe, yeah, around that. So he's coming back so incredibly close for the guys who are, well, on the road, 3rd to 6th. Hindley's dropped, and Almeida's looking behind it. 2.1 Ks to go. Remember, the last Ks of descent, he was thinking, all right, you're going to attack me now. He must have been thinking, and it looked like Almeida had slowed at this point. It looked like he was expecting the counter from Vingegaard. Riccitello and Pellizzari stay together, and Pellizzari defends his white jersey, even takes time, and then Almeida accelerates to the crest. He prevents getting countered over the top, and the attack just never comes from Jonas Vingegaard. Over the top, Almeida keeps him behind, and this descent, you have to be in front with about 350 meters to go. Almeida's looking to see that he's about to get jumped on the inside. This is where Koos jumped Landa to take 3rd in 2023, and Vingegaard doesn't move. He kind of gets off the wheel a little bit out of that corner. Almeida, once you get, it's like Strada Bianca. If you get to that last corner first, at 150 to go, nobody can beat you. And Almeida gets to that corner first, paced the whole climb, got his team to pace the Cordal and the whole Angliru, and did it himself, and takes the most impressive victory of his career, beating Jonas Vingegaard mano a mano on the Angliru, the mythical finish, ahead of Vingegaard, same time. Hindley, then Koos were on about 30 seconds. Goal, Pellizzari, Pidcock, Riccitello on 50 seconds to a minute 16. Then Ciccone, Balderston rounding out the top 10. Here's what Almeida had to say.
Best win of your career so far?
Yeah, this is a special one. Oh, I still don't believe it. Yeah, thanks to my teammates. They were key today. We did an amazing stage. I just put my pace from the bottom, and then I just did the best I could. John was always on the wheel. The last K I was on the limits. I guess we're both on the limits. I was waiting for his attack anytime. Thanks, man. And I thought he would pass me in the finish line, but I knew the finish line quite well from 2 years ago. And I took the last corner, and then it's hard to pass. So, yeah, I think it was an amazing day.
In terms of GC, no positional changes in, I think, the top 4 or 5, but Vingegaard loses 4 seconds to Almeida. Pidcock does lose a lot of time to Hindley, but still has 42 seconds on him. But we've got the Moradero coming, we've got Bola del Mundo. I think Hindley's looking very, very good for that 3rd spot, but Almeida showed the Vuelta ain't over till it's over. Put up a huge fight today, and we've got another hard stage tomorrow. Ciao, ciao.